I wonder, do you dream of a Cunard cruise on the Queen Anne? Find out in this, our ship's tour, from our stay in January 2025. Enjoy! Welcome to our ship tour of the Queen Anne. This is a new ship at the time we went on her, being introduced in May 2024, and it has a capacity of around 3,000 guests and a staff and crew of 1,200. We wonder if we will still be dreaming of times on this ship or not, but let's find out. Where else would we start than the grand lobby? Spanning 3 decks, this stunning atrium serves as the central hub of the ship, and it's a harmonious blend of traditional elegance and contemporary design, all with a bit of an Art Deco twist. A nod to the classic Cunard aesthetics. It serves as a gathering place for guests, its elegant ambience setting a tone for the voyage. We both like the look, although we found it wasn't somewhere we ever really lingered in, but somewhere we tended to pass through when going to other places. From the grand lobby, you have easy access to the Corinthia lounge, the lobby boutique shops, a small bar, and then on the first floor, the games room, the drawing room, and the purser's office. We will look at each of these areas separately later on. One of the key focal points in the space is the lenticular piece of art, a Cunard journey. Etched in brass, it shows different images depending upon the angle of view. Spanning 3 floors, it provides a feature backdrop to the sweeping staircase and sets the tone for a ship. An Art Deco celebration of the golden age of cruising is cut into the 3 metal panels, giving 3 different views. The Art Deco theme continues on the ground floor with a bespoke geometric marble floor in monochromatic concentric circles. Each deck has a slightly different purpose and feel. Deck 3 is bright with a giant starburst design on the ceiling, another contemporary nod to Art Deco design created with an entirely bespoke 3-dimensional woven plaster latticework ceiling and central golden finale. Situated just off the grand lobby on deck 1 is the drawing room. This is a sanctuary for relaxation, allowing guests to read or just unwind and have some time to themselves. Here you will find over 2,700 contemporary and classic books. The space is thoughtfully designed with comfortable seating, coffee tables, reading lamps, and even features a scale model of the Queen Anne, adding to its charm and appeal. This space is in addition to the library, which you will find on deck 12, and we never found it very busy, and as such it's a great space if you just want to go somewhere quiet and get away from everybody. On the other side of deck 1 is the games room, a unique and welcome environment that, like the drawing room, was never very busy. Here guests can unwind and engage in various classic board games, card games and puzzles. You will find games like chess, boggle and Scrabble, as well as communal jigsaw puzzles that are all available for you to use. On a long cruise, we could see this being an ideal place for leisure activities when you want to get out of the cabin and either don't or can't get out onto the deck. A nod to its maritime history, Cunard has a purser's office, which for all intents and purposes provides exactly the same functions as guest relations. Historically, the purser was responsible for a ship's finance, provisions and passenger welfare. Here though you can get guest assistance, highlight cabin or itinerary issues, as well as billing and encounter inquiries. Also on deck 1 was a small bar with coffee making facilities, though every time I went down there it never seemed to be actually open. Probably open more in the evening. At the front of the ship, on deck 2, you will find the Mareel beauty salon. Here you can get hairdressing for hairstyling, colouring and conditioning treatments, nail services for both nails and pedicures, and for the gentlemen are barbers offering traditional grooming services. These facilities can be booked up to 6 months in advance of your cruise. Directly below it, on deck 1, is the Fitness and Wellbeing Centre, with fitness bikes, weights, treadmills and other equipment, which is free for guests to use or at an additional charge if combined with personal training. Here you will also find a small pool, relaxation lounges and spa treatment areas where you can get a variety of well-being treatments. There's also a studio where guests can participate in yoga and other fitness classes, with access to personal trainers being available for tailored guidance. Operating hours are typically 8 to 8 whilst at sea, or 8 to 10 when in port. The state-of-the-art Royal Court Theatre epitomises the grandeur associated with the classic Art Deco concert halls, and it serves as the ship's premier venue for entertainment. Spanning decks 2 and 3 at the front of the ship, it offers an immersive experience with optimised viewing angles and plush seating. In the evening you will find a variety of entertainment from West End style productions, in-house productions, as well as a talented lineup of vocalists, instrumentalists, aerial performers and stand-up comedians, and variety entertainers. During the day you can enjoy the award-winning Cunard Insight Talks, where you can hear from experts and household names in a variety of fields. The chart room is seamless with the grand lobby. Situated on deck 2, it features a circular bar. During daylight hours you can order both hot and cold beverages, including specialty soft drinks, wines, beers and spirits, or enjoy savoury treats such as platters and sandwiches, making it an ideal spot for a light lunch or afternoon snack. In the evening it serves a variety of cocktails. There is a separate lounge area that provides an intimate ambience with panoramic sea views. Live jazz performances enhance the relaxed atmosphere. The Golden Lion is Queen Anne's English pub on deck 2. It blends traditional pub charm with modern culinary delights. Here you can get a classic pub grub menu elevated to new levels as part of Cunard's collaboration with Michelin-starred chef Michel Roux. The pub boasts an ever-changing lineup of ales as well as a selection of wines from around the world. The dress code is always informal and the atmosphere is both relaxed and vibrant. There is plenty to do here, whether it is relaxing with a pint, listening to live music as part of occasional performances that take place, watching televised sports, or taking part in a traditional pub quiz or darts tournament. The Bright Light Society, located opposite the Golden Lion pub on deck 2, is an intimate venue with seating for around 120 guests. Whilst reservations are required, either through reception or the Cunard app, there is no additional charge, as entry is included in the cruise fare. Given its popularity, it's best to book as early as possible to secure a spot. It's named in homage to Cunard's legacy as the first ocean liner company to introduce electric lighting on its ship. It offers a lively and engaging atmosphere. The venue's design features shimmering metallics, iconic light bulbs and accents of electric blue, creating a glamorous nightclub vibe. We especially enjoyed the interactive murder mystery Noir and made sure to reserve our seats as soon as we boarded. The Clarendon Fine Art Gallery is Cunard's ubiquitous cruise ship art location, situated on deck 2 on one of the main thoroughfares to and from the Britannia Restaurant, making it quite impossible to miss. It is therefore open for viewing around the clock, 365 days a year. That said, it's always nice to browse through the selection of pieces available from both established and emerging artists. These are all available to purchase. The art is very similar to artwork displayed on most cruise ships and similarly priced, although we did think some of the pieces were a little better and the staff seemed a little more knowledgeable than on the other cruise ships we went on. Whilst we both enjoy contemporary art, we would never think about buying from a cruise ship. We find it a lot more expensive than we get and find in our local art galleries. In the middle of Deck 2 are future voyages and shore experiences. To one side there are a number of kiosks which you can use to research and book shore excursions. We found that the choice and type of excursions available was very similar to other ships we've sailed on. If you prefer to book excursions face to face, then there is a small office space opposite, although opening times seem to be a little sporadic. The Future Voyages booking office has a number of catalogues and you can also interact on a face-to-face basis with staff. Here you can research, discuss and book any future cruises you wish to take. Cunard has a much smaller fleet than the other cruise lines that we've been on. We particularly liked the catalogue that showed for all of the ships in the fleet 2 years of cruise itineraries, which we find a great tool for deciding which itineraries we're actually interested in. Also located on Deck 2 is the Britannia Club Restaurant, the exclusive dining venue for guests travelling in Britannia Club balcony staterooms. This contemporary Art Deco themed restaurant offers a personalised dining experience with a reserved table for each guest throughout the voyage. Guests can enjoy breakfast, lunch and dinner in an intimate atmosphere, with dedicated staff providing attentive service and ensuring individual preferences are met. In addition, guests have access to a private lounge, providing a comfortable pace to relax, socialise and enjoy a pre-dinner drink. While the Britannia Club Restaurant and the Britannia Restaurant on Cunard's Queen Anne offer similar menus as part of the Britannia dining experience, there are some key differences. The Britannia Club Restaurant is exclusive, as we said before, and is reserved for guests for the duration of the cruise, and it offers anytime dining. In contrast, the Britannia Restaurant is a much larger venue and it caters for a broader range of guests in the Britannia category with a lively atmosphere. With both restaurants featuring similar menu options, the Britannia Club Restaurant provides that more personalised and peaceful dining experience. The Britannia Restaurant serves as the primary dining room for guests in Britannia staterooms, which is what we were travelling in. It's a large, elegant space spread out over decks 2 and 3 at the aft of the ship and serves breakfast, lunch and dinner. Again, the ambience is contemporary Art Deco with some homages to classic Cunard cruising in the etched perspex plates and gold tips to the magnificent pillars that rise for the 2 stories. The Britannia Restaurant spans 2,000 square metres and features double height ceilings with grand chandeliers. Generously sized windows offer panoramic sea views, enhancing the dining experience with both natural light and scenic views. Breakfast and lunch are dine anywhere with no bookings required, and for dinner there are 2 seating options, early or late, providing a structured dining schedule. However, we also found that we could just turn up and we never had a large wait to be seated, but then we do prefer to eat early. Dress code depends on the time of day, with casual attire acceptable before 6 p.m. and evening attire depending upon if it's a gala night or not. For gala nights, formal black tie attire is encouraged, but suits also seem to be acceptable. On non-gala nights, casual attire, a collared shirt and smart trousers, the same as most cruise lines that we've been on. We found that the menu was excellent with good choices and attractive presentation. In the evening we were offered a variety of dishes with some options for dietary preferences or restrictions, and 5 courses were available. So every night we were offered an appetizer, soup, salad, the main course, a dessert, a couple of chocolates were also provided at the end of the meal, and there was a complimentary coffee offered even if you did not have a drinks package. The service was good most of the time, with staff that were helpful and courteous, but were obviously looking after a large number of guests. The Queen's Room, spanning decks 2 and 3, is a Cunard signature venue renowned for its elegant ambience and refined activities. In the reviews we read before we came, this was one of the areas that regular Cunard cruisers seemed to be the most vocal about. Well, we loved it and often stopped by for a drink and to take in the live entertainment on an evening. This is a multifunctional space in use both in the day and the evenings. It hosts that cherished Cunard tradition, daily afternoon tea, complete with a selection of fine teas, sandwiches and pastries, accompanied by live music. It makes a unique experience. The spacious dance floor often had a live orchestra or group performing, and we would often see couples doing ballroom dancing. The venue also accommodates enrichment programs, including guest lectures, art talks and cultural presentations. Like the rest of the ship, it has an opulent Art Deco decor, and this creates a sophisticated atmosphere, providing the perfect backdrop for the various onboard activities that it hosts. Situated on deck 3 behind the Queen's Room is the small non-smoking casino, which has around 80 slot machines and 7 table games. There's also a circular full-service bar, which we think is known as Room 1840. Now, to use these facilities, guests must be 18 plus years old, and during the day, if you wanted to, you could get free gambling lessons from the staff, though that does seem like they might have a bit of a vested interest. In all, it has a capacity of around 200 cruisers, and in the short time that we were on board, it didn't seem to be particularly well used in comparison to other cruise ships' casinos that we've been on. Its position on the ship meant that we quite often found that we were going through this particular area as we made our way either to the Queen's Room or to the dining room. Here at the photography centre on deck 3, you can use the installed tablets to browse the photos that have been taken by the onboard photographers, to book a private shoot or order prints. There was a couple of staff also there that were available to answer questions if required. The Corinthia Lounge, which is off the grand lobby, was a place to come for a bite to eat or a quick drink. If retail therapy is required, then the ideal place for a browse is the boutiques on deck 3 around the grand lobby. Here you will find some iconic brands, and the shops rarely seem to get busy. You will find everything from jewellery, watches, gifts, branded clothing, and we particularly like the Cabinet of Curiosities, which has a wide-ranging set of iconic pieces, including replica of some items that were owned or used by royalty. Deck 3 is one of those rare sights on a cruise ship these days, as it boasts a promenade deck that encircles the entire deck and provides a scenic walkway for guests. This deck is home, if you recall, to shops, boutiques, the casinos, dining venues such as the Britannia Restaurant and Corinthia Lounge and Bar, and you will pass those as you walk around the deck. As someone who enjoys being active and spending time outdoors, I appreciate it when you have that wraparound style, as it makes it perfect for walkers and joggers. This one offers ocean views, complete with benches if you prefer to sit back and relax. In total, it takes around 2.5 laps to walk a complete mile, and it makes it a great space for either exercise or just a leisurely stroll. However, unlike some of the Cunard ships, this promenade doesn't feature the classic teak steamer chairs that I often associate with the line's traditional cruising experience. I ended up walking around this deck more times than I would care to mention during our relatively short stay, and every time I found something different to look at and observe. It did get a little bit rough, but sections of the promenade are actually sheltered, which makes it quite nice. When I took the watercolour class, I was sort of sitting there doing my artistic endeavours, and as people walked round this deck, they would peer into the window to see what was going on. It was really unnerving. I attempted to do the same when I was doing walks, but resisted the challenge, shall we say. It didn't take long to circumnavigate the deck, and then I was always faced with that decision: do I continue on and do another circle, or do I pop in and do something else? In the evening, the Aranya is Queen Anne's Indian speciality restaurant, one of 2 speciality dining venues situated within the Artisan's food hall buffet. Dining here comes with an additional $35 cover charge, and it gives you an elevated culinary experience and is actually quite good value. During the day, we discovered that the space remained quiet and largely unoccupied, making it an ideal retreat for enjoying our artisan buffet meals away from the usual hustle and bustle, and it quickly became our go-to spot for that more peaceful dining experience. The other speciality restaurant in the Artisan food hall space is Tramonto, which offers a Mediterranean-inspired menu and comes with a $20 cover charge. The menu features simple yet authentic dishes that celebrate the flavours of the region, including a selection of classic Italian favourites from pasta to antipasti. The restaurant's ambience blends rustic charm with modern elegance and creates a warm and inviting dining experience. Alternatively, you can go al fresco if you so desire. So one of the key surprises for us was the Artisan's food hall. You know, it has to be the best buffet restaurant we've ever been in on a cruise ship. The quality and the variety of the food was really good, and it was a lot less busy and much better organised than Celebrity's version. We also felt it was a step up from what we'd experienced on Princess. Steve really liked the cook for you options, and we both liked how in many of the food stations chefs would serve the food rather than a free-for-all. Usually we find ourselves going to the main dining room for lunch, but on this cruise we found that we just kept returning to the Artisan's food hall. A real win. The Pavilion is a casual, open-plan space with a magrodome that is a retractable roof used during sunny and warm periods, which today is anything but. It is located on decks 9 and 10, and there's a spiral staircase between the two decks. We often passed through this area as we went to and from our cabin, and quite often there was something going on, whether that was a table tennis competition or a film of a concert projected on the large screen at one end. It's a great place to relax with a pool, hot tubs, plenty of sun lounges and seating, and also the large screen that I mentioned before. Waiter service is available, and there's a bar, a gelato bar, and a grill at one end. The gelato bar had a good selection, and the Pavilion grill served casual fare like hot dogs and hamburgers during lunch hours. Apparently vegan options are also available. The pool and hot tubs all closed around 8 o'clock. Now, up to the aft of deck 10 for two speciality restaurants. As with all speciality restaurants, reservations are recommended. First up is Sir Samuel's, with an additional fee of around $60 per person. This restaurant features a more traditional setting with traditional dark woods and some rich colours on the floor. It is designed to reflect the elegance and heritage of the Cunard line and offers a luxurious dining experience. Indeed, the name itself is a homage to Sir Samuel Cunard, the cruise line founder. The menu includes a variety of gourmet dishes such as caviar, oysters and jumbo lump crab cakes and steak tartare for appetizers. Main courses feature premium cuts of beef, fresh seafood and vegetarian options. Across the passage is Aji Wa, a speciality a la carte Japanese restaurant. A booking fee of $20 per person is required, and that is then deducted from the final bill. Now, this restaurant offers a blend of traditional Japanese and modern flavours, and it includes sushi and sashimi, two of my favourites, as well as seasonal menus. One of the features of this restaurant is the omakase experience, where guests can indulge in an evening chef's choice, tasting menus providing a curated journey through their various signature dishes. You know, in Japan I had both my best ever meal, which was a traditional English roast, and my worst ever meal, which was raw squid and raw prawns. Now, I'm assured it wasn't an initiation test, but a delicacy. Just not a delicacy that I particularly liked. We often found ourselves returning to the Commodore lounge, which is at the bow of the ship on deck 12. It's a signature lounge offering guests a blend of classic Art Deco styling combined with modern design, and it features plush seating. The forward-facing observation lounge provides panoramic ocean views, and it makes an ideal spot for both relaxation and socialising. The lounge also includes a stage for live piano performances, which we found added to the overall ambience. Also on deck 12 Behind the Commodore lounge was the library, and this had an excellent selection of books that you could take out and read. Also on the other side of the Commodore lounge on deck 12 is the Churchill's lounge, which is an exclusive cigar smoking venue. One of the things that we enjoyed as we walked back from the Commodore lounge was looking at the artwork, which was Cunard's tribute to the celebrities that had sailed on it. Many of these were paper collages, and some had some words written on them from the celebrities themselves, which added a nice touch. Wonder how many you recognise. Also on deck 12 was two intertwined spaces, the Admiral Lounge and the boardroom. The access to the Admiral's Lounge was only from inside. You couldn't get in from the outside, but the boardroom access was freely available. When we visited, the two spaces had been combined to create a wedding reception and ceremony location and decorated accordingly. There was also access to the outside decks from these spaces as well. I thought you guys might like to take a look on the outside of the ship and some of the outdoor spaces. Now, bear with me. January in the North Sea is not the best time to be exploring the outside, as A, it gets windy, and 2, it's freezing cold. But I'll do my best and take you guys around to look at what's on the decks. Imagine if you did a cruise on this ship when it was much warmer. These decks would be delightful, and there'd be a heck of a lot more people on them than there were during this cruise. But hopefully you get a sense of what they're like, and with a bit of imagination you can work out what it would be if you were coming on a warmer day. So thank you for sticking with the video. Hopefully it's given you an idea of what the Queen Anne is like. Both of us really like it as a ship. It's contemporary, it's different to a number of the cruise lines we've been on before, and it has its unique Cunard flavour, which we both appreciated and liked. The food was excellent, by the way, and so was the general music and entertainment. So if you want to go, enjoy it.